All right, here we are. Last weekend of the season, week 18. What have we got? 6 survivors, I believe, still in the contest. I've shit the bed completely in the last 4 weeks with my millions entry that was tied 17th and now potentially somewhere outside the money that could get in the money, but I'd need like a 5-0 or something and shit to go right. I mean, Scott, end of season. It's been a long season. I'm feeling the exhaustion right now. So, how's it going? And what do we got this week?
Well, this is the best week and the worst week of the season because we're getting right here. The contest is over. We're exhausted. It's been a long season, but in just a couple of weeks, we're going to wish it was all right back there in the middle of it. So here we go for our final contest of the year. This is probably no surprise. Number one pick on the board was Tampa Bay. And I just saw that they were way ahead up in this game. Do you want to talk? No, they just put back in 2 points.
Yeah, Carolina just scored a touchdown to come back within 2 points. And I believe I was one of those ones that had Tampa Bay in at least a couple of them, and probably my main one. They look, I mean, they've been cruising seemingly the whole game, and then, yeah, right at the end. And I don't know where it's playing out right now. But, yeah, so that one was about 62% of the money was on the Buccaneers, about 64% of the master money. Generally, it was at, I think it was at the 3. Hang on, let me just make sure I got pre-game chat. Yeah, it was at the 2.5. And then there wasn't really that much at the 3. There was a bit of a comeback at the +3, but 87% of the master money was at the 2.5, and the line looked pretty solid 3 when the game started.
Yeah, and this is a perfect example where a half a point makes a whole difference. Because right now that's a 2-point game. In the contest, it's a 2.5-point favorite. So the number one pick on the board for millions looked like it's going down. I don't know how that's going to affect the survivor ones. I think I saw a couple of people had Tampa Bay left. 4 out of the 6, it looks like, did. Unknown what they picked at this point. So I guess we can go on to the next game. And that game is coming up next. So this one is very important. This is San Francisco 49ers. Looks like number 2 pick on the board. Where's the money show up on this one?
Yeah, this is very, very well balanced on the overall money, like within a few percent overall. But on the master money is just like 98% of it's on Seattle. Just checking the numbers here. There was a bit at 1, but there is a bulk of it at 2.5. So it just feels like they're just thinking Seattle's going to win this one. I've actually thought San Fran's looked good for about 4 or 5 weeks. Have a few small bets going on them to win the division, but I have a few big bets on them to win the Super Bowl and the conference. So hoping San Fran pick this one up and get the home seed and play the Super Bowl at home and just win it all and make it a nice season.
That sounds like a great deal to me. Let's take a look at the next one. This is our first. This one's another dog, big dog. Looks like the Colts plus 10.5. What do you see in the money on this one?
Yeah, so this is one, and this one actually doesn't quite have the volume for me to sort of anoint it as a data play. There's a few games sort of hitting on the edge of it. But this one, 78% of the money's on the Texans, yet 68% of 71% now of the master money's on the Colts. And it's all around that 10.5 is where it sits. So this one, just feels like, and I think I played the Colts a couple of times as well. They haven't been too bad with old man Rivers there at the quarterback position since coming back. So I don't know. It looks like this could end up being the day to play tomorrow. But as I said, just need some more volume to really solidify what this one could be.
Okay. Well, let's go to the most important game of the weekend. That's none other than the Baltimore Ravens minus 3.5. That's our number 4 most picked selection this week. and the only game that we care about in my household tomorrow. And I saw you're on the wrong side on this one. So where are you seeing the money on this one?
Yeah, so here we're looking at 78% of the money on the Steelers, 64% of the master monies on the Ravens. And it looks generally at the 3.5 both ways. A little bit at the -3, a little bit at the +4, but 3.5 pretty solid there. But yeah, slight. Well, we're definitely going to need the Ravens looking at this right now. And this is another one. While the overall money is really strong on the Steelers, if the master money was a little stronger on the Ravens there, that may end up being a data play as well. But there's a few, as I said, on the cusp of just a little bit more volume. But it really seems like there's a lot of hesitation in the money coming in and the volume on these games at this point of the week.
Sounds good. Well, we have a two-way tie here for fifth place. The first one in the tie situation is Green Bay. Looks like Green Bay is about an 8.5-point underdog. Where are you seeing the money in the Green Bay game?
Yeah, so this was one of those ones, and a bit like Carolina, I guess. If you're behind outside the money and looking to sort of go contrarian, the Packers at the +8.5 when the line's pretty solid 10 there. Definitely one to play. Looking at 82% overall, the money on the Vikings, 69% of the master money there on the Vikings. Looking at it though, on the master, this bunch at 6.5, 7. This number really ran up, but oddly enough, from the master money, as it ran up, there was money at +7.5, +8.5, +9, as it was sort of going up that way. So. This is one where, again, looking at it, maybe you got to, I don't know if you've got anyone in the money, but there's a few that have still thought, well, let's go against the field. 8.5, the line's 10. A lot of people might just go, all right, take the Vikings. But, and I think I did use them in one or two of the 5 entries just on that purpose alone. Because right now, where the money's coming, it's looking like our house is going to need the Packers.
Gotcha. Yeah, and I do have 2 guys right there trying to be in the money with millions. So this is a very important week for them. Our last pick of the week is the Miami Dolphins. Looks like the Dolphins are also a big dog, about 10.5 points, it looks like. And the real line's closer to 12. So what are you seeing on this one?
Yeah, I was in a similar position. I have the Dolphins in a couple of mine. But this is like 92% of the money's on the Patriots. Master money's well balanced, but there's not a lot there. A lot of this early on was at the 10.5 on New England, but also diving into it. I think there's a lot of teaser money on this one. Yeah, there's a lot of teaser money when this was line was more like 7, 8, 9. Actually, let's have a look at this one because one's been 10, 12 all week. So it looks like there's a bunch of super teasers on this one where they're using the Patriots in the 10, 12-point teasers and really loading up on them here.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, let me check on that San Francisco game. Looks like there is about 3 seconds left. San Francisco looks like they're still up by 2, so that
Tampa
one's
Bay.
almost over. Tampa Bay. I'm sorry, Tampa Bay, not San Francisco. Looking at the next game already.
Yeah, it is off because I can see the grading done and the bets are starting to grade as well. So looks like
Perfect.
16 final there.
Okay, so then that one's going to be number 1 pick in the millions, and it looks like it's going to go down as a loser. So, like we said before, looks like there's about 6 guys left in Survivor. Unfortunately, I don't have any of them, so I have no view in what any of these guys are doing this week. I did take a look at the Circa tweet to show what teams they had left, and it looks like Tampa Bay, 4 out of the 6 had them left. So there may be some very disappointed people right now.
Well, I mean, depends because Tampa Bay still won the game because they've only got to win the game in Survivor. They've not got to cover the points. So you might actually have people through already counted their money, like how much of this am I going to get? But looking at those 4, one of them had New England, which you've got New England now 12-point favorite. You would think they'd just be all over that one. One of them had Atlanta, which is a tough game, 3.5, similar line against the Saints at home there. Another one, like, literally had 5 or 6 teams to choose from, Minnesota being one, which is a huge favorite. So, yeah, I'm not sure if any of them would have fallen in. And the other one had Cincinnati, which is an 8-point favorite. So I don't suspect anyone took Tampa Bay today, but you might have had someone going, all right, let me do the early one. I've got Tampa Bay and Atlanta, and everyone's got Atlanta, so let me go against the marker there and try and get it in early, which they possibly have if they did.
That's right. And I got the two contests confused when I said the problem with Tampa Bay. You're exactly right. Survivor, they wouldn't have cared. And you're right. Also, everybody has Atlanta, so that's probably not a place I'd want to play. So maybe there are a couple of them already in the bunker with a perfect score and waiting to see how much of it the percentage they get. So could be a really interesting weekend.
Yeah, it will be for sure, because, you know, week 18, bunch of these teams, random scores. We've all been around long enough, I think, to know that this weekend can just turn into anything.
Yeah, with everybody resting starters and not everybody having the same motivation to win. Some teams actually having motivation to lose, which also adds into the calculus of this weekend. So, yeah, it's been a great season, but anything could happen on Sunday, that's for sure.
Even at the best of times, not week 18. So
Very true.
Looking at the money's really coming to the teams. You know, Patriots, the amount on that surprised me a little bit. Yeah, they're at home. Yeah, you know, Broncos, Chargers have locked themselves in. A lot of money on the Broncos, big number there. Jaguars, Titans, you know, playing around for nothing. Buffalo, the Jets was an interesting one. Again, Jets have been just so bad, but the Masters, about 68% of the money there. I've just got some bets coming in. See, okay. And then, yeah, so there's probably 3 or 4 games, potentially data plays tomorrow. As I said, which one did we speak about? The Ravens is kind of in that realm. Bunch of money just coming. The Seahawks are the master money, but it's still balanced on the overall chart. Colts was one we spoke about as potential. I think Cowboys is another one that could fall into the slot. So yeah, you know, there could be a few on the card tomorrow, and I think the data plays went 4-0 2 weeks ago, 3-1 last week. So hopefully we can close with a good one.
Let's hope so. So I've got a couple of questions people have sent me. We're still going to be doing a show next week, even though there's not a Circa contest. Is that true or false?
I mean, we can. Why not? Maybe we need to look at the schedule, though, and maybe get in before the Saturday games and Sunday games and, yeah, make it a playoff journey or whatnot.
I think we should do that, but this 4:00 time is probably the wrong time for that. So offline, we'll discuss what time we're going to do it, and we'll go ahead and do something next week then.
Yeah, sounds good.
Sounds good. All right. I think for tonight, that's about all we can say, and I guess we'll see you guys next week. Time unknown at this point.
All right. Well, again, all the best for the end of the weekend. All the best for those 6 survivors, people in the millions. You know, I hope the beginning of the year starts well for many.
I agree. Thanks, Adam.
All right. Cheers, and catch everyone next week. Cheers. Good night.